Are you willing to pay the cost of what it is to become the version of yourself that you really want to be? A lot of us aren't willing to do that. We don't think that we are worth the investment to become her, to see her. You feel it, you know it. There's something there. You can't describe it. Some of us say we're not feeling like ourselves. Well, perhaps it's because you are getting the signal, the green light to be her. And you keep being reminded of it every single day. You keep trying to swat it away like it's a fly. It's not going to go anywhere, my sister. You have it in you. In fact, you were born with it. It's your destiny. And it's a vision that you have deep within your heart. I want you to understand it's worth the cost. In fact, this video today is exactly for you because I know you've been thinking about it. A lot of the clients that come to me usually are at that crossroads and like, I really want to pursue that. And I want to let you know it's the best journey that you will ever have. I'm 58 years old and I am telling you, I'm in the best time of my life, menopause and all. So get your corporate besties, get yourself, if you want to take this on a long drive or on a long walk, this is the video for you. Okay. I will see you inside the video. Do you consider yourself an investor? A person who invests in things with the hope that there's going to be a return on that investment? Recently, first of all, I need to tell you, my husband is an advisor. He's a wealth manager. He deals with people and helping them take their wealth and putting it into investments that grow over time. And so he's someone who had to teach me that mindset because I had a funny way of dealing with money and I had no idea how to make wise investments. And recently, I was listening to a gentleman, his name is Ray Dalio, who has written several books about investments and his predictions. He had a very successful hedge fund business in New York City. And so I was listening to him recently talking about some of the best investments that we can make with AI being here to stay. And my husband would probably agree with this, but the best investment that you can make is into your human capital, yourself, really understanding how you operate, what makes you tick, what are your triggers, how you can get yourself healthy biologically, mentally, all the things. And realizing that there are talents within you that you haven't even begun to pursue. There is a spiritual component of you. And as you heard me say, you are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are a creative being. There is a becoming process about you that you need to learn because AI is going to take control of a lot of the thinking things that we've had to do. And so, how does then one think about their lives? You have to become a greater version of yourself. And it's already inside you. You know what I believe? I truly and 100% believe that we've been put on this earth for a very specific purpose. Like there was just this knowing, I call it God, you can call it the source of all power, all truth, all knowing, whatever you want to call it, the greater power, the higher power that knew I'm going to take Diana and I'm going to put her into this generation and I'm going to give her little signs and clues along the way that she's built for something more. Let's hope that she pays attention to it and she starts to dive into her spiritual side, right? But the thing is she's going to have to recognize that what got her to where she is now likely won't take her to where she needs to be. But I'm going to continue to work with her as long as she's willing to pay the cost of becoming. So, I really believe that in order for us to not only know what that cost is, because some of us we're not going to know all of that right away. I believe there's some preliminary steps that have to take place in order for us to really begin to examine the cost of what it's going to be to become her. Because what you're going to have, like everybody has to have in any human history, there has to be an awakening. You have to choose to be awake. There are some people in our society, as of the time of this recording, it's about August of 2026. The word woke has become a negative symbol in society at this time. You can do the research if you're listening to this video in 2053. But that is also another indication that you need to wake up. You need to wake up. Stop following the patterns of what the world says. Now, granted, it's important for you to know history, yes, but there is a greater knowing that's already inside of you, because I believe that God of the universe knew that God was going to implant something inside of you that was going to help humankind. And that's what Ray Dalio was kind of referring to, right? That there is, with every single evolution, there were people put on this earth to help bring about the greater version of humanity through the entire evolution, whether that be the farming evolution, the tech revolution, whether that be um, the electronic evolution. All of these things, people along the way were capable of bringing about a greater version of it without losing the piece of humanity. Because everything that is evolving is kind of taking away the need for us to labor, to do hard work. And so at one point, there were some people who felt the evolution of the farming industry and technology and engineering with that took away labor. Like men were used as, farming equipment, took away the need to be able to do that. Some people then thought of new ideas that came about because they were thinking and they were allowing themselves to evolve and to become along the process. Some people died with it. They just couldn't see their way through it. They just thought that life is just over as I know it. And it's not. And the same thing is now. So my plea to you at this particular point is to wake up, is to know that there is a greater purpose for you. And the only reason why I know that and you know that is because, partly because you're listening to this video, partly because you have seen me on the internet talking about this idea of biology and visibility and our stories and authenticity, to know that there is something deeper about what Diana is talking about. Let me lean in a little bit to hear. Okay, so in order to become her, the first step is you have to wake up. Wake up. Wake up that you're not just here to hang out, and just chill and just consume things. You are here to contribute something greater than your title, something greater than the education that you had, something greater than the outfits that you are trying to accumulate, going shopping or surfing the internet to be entertained. Those are certainly a part of the equation, but it is not everything. There is a greater purpose deep within you, but it requires you to wake up. We talk about this in the Path to Power, Purpose, and Connection. It's a framework that I've built. And the first step is to recognize that you have a character. This character, this person that's just been living their lives, right? And you see the reflection of the way you live your life and what you are receiving right now. In order to shift that, you have to become aware. To become aware is to become awake. So after you become awake and aware of things, you start to realize that you have to make a decision. You have to decide, and you have to make a choice of how you're going to live in order to become. And I really feel it requires this desire to want to win the becoming opportunity. Like you said, I want to know what this is. I will not give up on it. I am going to pursue it with all of my heart, all of my soul, all of my mind. Everything within me wants to pursue that. And I 100% believe that in order to become, you have to make a decision that I'm going to start to lean into the vibrational currency that is like causing me to want to manifest this desire to become. And I believe it's supernatural. I believe it comes to every single person. There's not one person that doesn't get this. The people that say, well, I have no idea, Diana. I just don't know. You don't understand. I have such a busy life. I got to get the kids here. I got to get the kids here. I don't have the money. And as I was listening to this podcast, this woman said, it's a luxury to dream. It's a luxury to dream because it really is like some people say, I just don't have time for that. I don't have time to dream. You have nothing else better for your life than to actually invest in that dream. And that is 100% the way that it has to be. And so I am really begging you to decide that you're going to want to pursue this with everything. And I just truly believe that it requires you to find time, margin in your day to get quiet. You've got to just find time to slow down, to be still, and to know that there is a greater God out there that can direct your path. And so this is where the lines of leadership and everyday modalities become blurred when you come into this spiritual component because it's not tangible, it's not something you can touch. But every single thing that we have received on this earth have come from a dream. We got people these days who said, I'm just going to find a way to get ourselves to the moon. I'm going to get space travel to happen. You think that happens by calculations of just saying, oh, okay, this already works? It doesn't work. Someone's got to dream it. Someone's got to believe that. Whether you're trying to go to the moon or whether you're trying to run a 5K, it requires you to make a decision that you're going to pursue it with everything within you. So, first is awakening. Of course, in our path to power, purpose, and connection, you have to understand that you have a character, you are a spiritual being having this human experience. You have to wake up, right? You have to become aware, and then you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision to pursue it. Now, when you start to, you start to shift your mindset towards that, you start seeing obstacles that are going to get in the way of what it is that you desire. What you see in your life right now might be obstacles getting you to where you want to be. And that, my friend, is the cost. You are going to have to look at things differently because the same group of people that you've been hanging around likely aren't going to be the same people you're going to be hanging around to get you there. Now, that might cause some of you to go, "Oh, okay, I'm checking out. There's just no way. No way. I'm not doing that. Nope. Sorry, you lost me. I'm going to delete. I'm going to get out of the video. Sorry, Diana. I just don't believe in that." Yeah, because the thing is that I'm not saying it's going to actually happen. I'm saying that you have to be willing to look at that and see if it isn't. And if you don't want to pursue that, that's where you're going to say you're just not going to be able to go there. You're not going to be able to become, because there has to be a willingness to detach from that. There has to be a willingness to take up the mantle of becoming and the value that you have placed here in these relationships. I'm just saying you have to prioritize them. Some have to be put over here, some have to be, and you have to be strong enough to make a decision that I'm willing to put that over there. Okay, so that's a part of the cost equation. Relationships, it could be things that might sound on the surface appealing, but when you look at it, it's actually going to cost you more time to put into it, and it's not going to get you to go over here, right? So It could be the fact that I can't stay up late on certain evenings. I can't spend all my time doing that because then I'm not going to be able to get up early to be able to go do this over here. And so it just requires you to look at all the things that are going on in your life, whether that's your friendships, whether you are investing time into going certain places. All of those things build up to the cost equation. You also have to look at, how much time am I literally spending on doing absolutely nothing? Like it's just, I waste time every single day. Some of us fall into procrastination. We aren't quick to take action. And you know what gets in the way of that is is the cost of procrastination. And this idea that you actually have more time. Oh, we'll have time. We're going to get it. We'll get it tomorrow. Don't worry about it. See, when you're trying to become great, every single day counts. You are willing to actually put off this, soft feeling. You're going to have to get uncomfortable and you're going to have to pursue it with this sense of urgency that's going to say, I'm willing to do this. I have to do this and it's going to get done. So, I want to share with you the cost of becoming the person that I've been trying to be, and not just trying to be, but becoming her, embodying her, being her, seeing her, feeling her, knowing her. What is she like? Where does she go? Who does she talk to? How does she spend her time? And a lot of that time has been spent in solitude, is really just getting comfortable with being alone. Not lonely, but being alone, because I'm not lonely at all. People you think that are in solitude or that are lonely, that are alone, they're lonely, like they don't have anybody with. No, that is furthest from the truth. It's just really getting comfortable with that. When you get comfortable with that practice, you get quiet, you meditate, you start to pray like I do, and you start having practices about you, speaking truth to yourself, constantly feeling and knowing what that person is like, you start to get there. Now, I will say that I embodied that in becoming a bodybuilder. As I was building my body, I realized that there was something deeper that was happening within me because and for those of you who don't know, I actually was in a bodybuilding competition. I signed up for one at the age of 58 years old, and I was able to get second in this bodybuilding competition in the open, which gave me one place away from actually getting my pro card. Was just not aware of that. I also was getting several firsts in a lot of these other categories, 50 and up. The debut, I got first in the 40 and up, and I got second in a couple of other ones. I was in 5 different categories, and it was amazing. But the thing is that I didn't like just wake up and go, I'm going to be a bodybuilder and I'm going to go ahead and perform and get all these things. I was embodying her way before I even got to the stage. I knew that by the time I got to the bodybuilding stage, all of these things had already happened. It was as if it was just automatically going to be. So by the time I got to the bodybuilding stage, I was completely good. I was laughing behind stage. I was smiling. I was feeling good and confident of knowing because I'd already become her. But don't get it wrong, there was a cost to all that. I didn't eat out doing the things. If I did go out, I would have to say I'd eat these certain kinds of things, right? I'd put away alcohol. Couldn't do all that. There were just certain other places I'm just not going to do that because I got to go to sleep. I got to go to bed, right? And I have to get my time in during the day. I have to walk. So I had to redo my time during the day. The cost of becoming that person that was on that bodybuilding stage was so worth it because what it told me was if I can do this in this area of my life, and I have done this in the past, I know you all have done this in the past, what other areas of my life can I be? The vision I have right now in my life that I speak daily is about getting 100,000 women. 100,000 women in the Rise Advocates Academy because I know it's possible. I'm confident that it's possible. Why? Because I believe it with all of my heart. There are times when I'm walking, I see them, I visualize them. And when on the internet and I'm on social media, I actually know that the type of women that are going to be in the 100,000. Now, that is going to happen, but the cost that I'm going to have, it's been some months where I was just like, wow, I really don't have the cash flow. Why don't I have the cash flow? What is wrong with me? Is it me? No, it's not me. This is the cost. Are you willing to endure this? Are you willing to sit down and make 25 calls today? Are you willing to reach out to 150 people? Are you willing to take the time to do that? When everybody else is going over here, you are over here. That is the cost of becoming. So I wanted to share that story with you because my character, my awareness, right, and my decision, the choices that I began to make added up to, and I began to see the cost. And the cost from me was well worth it. Financially, there was some cost to it. But I'm going to tell you what, ever since I done that bodybuilding competition, my phone has been like notification, followers. People want to know more about this. How did you do this? I couldn't have paid for that kind of media. Just trying to get on to it's so interesting because I live here in Toledo. I've been trying to get on the news. I've been trying to go onto this local station. People never return my phone call, never return my email. This is so interesting. Now I got this platform that I'm developing on social media. I don't need to have that because I couldn't have even paid for it. Would have been one time to be on that news opportunity. But now I have my own platform where I'm actually talking to people week after week, day after day after day, and I don't even have to pay for it. I don't have to have anybody waiting on me to return the phone call. Right. So that's been so interesting to me. But that is the art of becoming. If you're willing to pay the cost of what it is that you desire, I guarantee you're going to get it. And this is exactly what we're talking about within our Rise Advocates community, in our Rise 53 Inner Circle. If you're new to this channel, my name is Diana Patton. I should have said that 20 minutes ago. I'm your authentic power strategist. And we talk about these topics and more every single week in our Rise 53 Inner Circle. Our Rise 53 Inner Circle is made up of people who've been through our Rise Advocates Academy, which are our flagship program. This is a 12-week course where people come in and transform their lives. And after they graduate from the academy, they enter in what's called the Rise 53 Inner Circle. And this is where we talk about these types of topics on a weekly basis, where we're sharpening one another, we're investing time in one another, and we're making certain that we all rise to the level and become the people that we want to be. Now, the reason why I say all that is because I would love for you to join our ecosystem, our community. And I believe that a lot of the stuff that we're talking about, it requires you to have the strength. Because at the beginning of this video, I said some of you guys are just so tired that you can't even think about having the energy to do that. Well, that's where I come in and tell you that you have to have the right kind of biology. Like you have to feel your way through that. And if you're tired, you don't have the energy to do it, you're not going to do it. So that's the reason why we've created the executive biology audit. This is an audit where you can begin to assess where you are biologically, where you are metabolically. There you go. Where is your metabolic and aptitude, your energy, your nervous system? How quick are you to return to calm? Your identity. Do you operate in an identity that's not working for you? And your executive presence, because a lot of us don't realize our executive presence is not made up of just our makeup and our hair and in our clothes. It's in your energy. It's in the way you present yourself and how you respond to things opposed to reacting. This is our executive biology audit, and we want you to take it. It's free. You're going to be able to get an assessment, and you're going to be able to use the principles that you learn within this assessment to get you to the next level. And then we can talk, right? Because some of you need somebody to talk to. I am willing to talk to you. If you complete the Rise Advocates Academy, if you complete the executive biology audit, I would love to be able to have the conversation with you about what you desire to do next. That's what I have for you today. How was that? I thought it was pretty good. It's the cost of becoming and whether you're willing to pay the cost. This is the topic that we are talking about within our Rise 53 Inner Circle. If you want to say, for instance, I don't want to do the executive biology audit, I just want to connect and learn more about you, I say subscribe to our Authentic Power Strategies within a LinkedIn, subscribe on YouTube to this channel so that you can be notified of these videos that come out. Or if you want to be a part of our newsletter and you want to get that every single week, that's where you take the executive biology audit so we can capture your email. And we're also have another surprise. We're coming out with a new book called Strength in Menopause. And we can't wait to share that with you because it has everything to do with what we're talking about today. So thank you so much for traveling with me, for journeying with me through this video. I hope it was helpful. Please like and subscribe, comment, share, tell everyone about this. And we cannot wait to talk to you more about everything that we're doing within the academy, but we mostly just want to hear from you. All right. Until then, I will see you in the next video.